She's your mother. I want to pay for carrying that cake too. And pick up the crap. Brenda's with me, so it's 75.
No, it's 25 per couple.
25.
How you been keeping, all
You
right?
by yourself?
Here, there's 50 bucks.
Okay.
Selfie and carry the cake.
Choose. Actually, 3.
Okay.
Yeah, this is for 25 bucks from you, and that's
all you need?
that's all we need for the weekend.
One entry per team member, or like is it?
One entry per team.
So you'll get $5. There. You'll get one for Carrie McKay also there, will you, Daryl?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, sign one of those news tags.
There you go, Pete. And we got
Oh my God.
Yeah.
what you're gonna need to know, bus schedules and everything else.
Get an extra copy. Got
4
that.
o'clock,
Yeah,
if
there's only
in
one.
flying suits, if you brought it.
No, I didn't.
Okay, then whatever you're comfortable in. Over at 7 Hangar.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll see you.
Me and my
See you over
wife.
at 7 Hangar.
First name, last name? 4 o'clock?
Probably.
Yeah,
Last name
4
first,
o'clock,
first name
it's
last.
open.
First name first, last name last.
Here, I'll put this down.
Hey.
Just for me, free gifts and everything.
Oh, lots of.
You gotta like this place. I knew I came back for a reason.
We'll get you to put your name down in the these here.
They're all be signed.
Oh yeah. Okay.
All this training in Dallas, that they didn't have to send somebody down to Poland, and they found out everything Dallas, you know, and they offered to send somebody to Dallas.
Hey, great.
How you doing? Good, thanks. Excuse me. Yeah, so, make her down.
Oh.
You on there?
Yeah, I think so.
Get all that stuff. If you just wanna bring it over, then what we'll do is, you just sign this one. Sorry.
How are ya?
That's the story I hear.
We tried everything.
Okay.
Oh, Kat.
Hi, Dan, how are you?
Very well. Good to see you.
Hi.
God, there's Ward. Oh my God. People you don't see.
So, did you just come in from the airport?
No, we
Oh, we've already checked in.
Yeah, everything's.
Any good?
That's nice.
The guys are down at the end there, they'll check you in.
Okay, let's go do that.
Great.
Wow. You go ahead.
Is that the Peach family? Yeah. You don't remember me.
I'm the youngest one, should I?
Yeah, you should. Hey, well. Cat Blue.
How are you?
Excellent.
Where you been? Haven't seen you. in so
Oh, I've
long.
in Bagotville and then in Europe.
Barnaby.
Former team member?
If you don't mind taking extra 5 minutes out.
Okay, this sort of asks you a couple of questions. You can sign your stuff.
I already signed it.
She signed me in.
Okay, great.
You have to go and visit the mom.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. Maybe I'll get a box so we can do all this thing, except.
We can do that, doesn't matter. We can
He's only
take-
gonna, he's only.
What's gonna be easiest for you? Yeah, I know, but what is, that doesn't matter.
No, well, my car's out here, rails.
I'm time, I'm here to have fun, and whatever you want to do. Okay? We'll just sit and we'll wait.
Well,
Getting away with some of it.
Oh, you know what?
You got one this year?
Let's get out of the guys.
You all went south, or we need to? Okay.
Where are they going?
My car, Darcy.
I'll just keep this stuff all together and get messed up with that stuff.
Hi there, Chester, Dan Dempsey, how are you doing?
Yeah, great.
Welcome
Dan.
back.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Good to see you.
Yeah, all right.
You got the old suit and everything, that's super.
Yeah, well, this is the very first tech we had.
Yeah.
You took my rank.
That's from 71, right?
That's 71, yeah. Yeah, 72 changed a little bit. Yeah, so they took my rank when I left it.
Yeah.
Just good then. How you doing? How you doing? Good.
Well, let's get you to sign here.
Okay.
Back. If you go in here. Okay, there you go. So just do that, Chester, and then these guys down here will take care of you.
Oh, great.
It's probably the first time you've been back, isn't it?
I was back in 77.
We got a guest, I think, as well.
I haven't been back since then.
Okay, well, it's been a while. Yeah. I'm glad you guys can make it.
Yeah, so are we, actually. Yeah, good.
How about Bill and Rita? They're coming up.
Yeah, they're here.
Oh, they're here?
I haven't shown up here yet, but they're at the.
Hi there, Terry. How you doing? Welcome.
To write in really big print. Chester, I didn't even recognize
Hey, how you doing?
Really good to see you.
Yeah.
Pretty s-
Well, I'll tell you, it still fits too.
pretty s-
Good afternoon.
You guys sign that?
Whenever you're ready. Okay, rolling, and so, how great is the demand for the Snowbirds appearances out there now?
Really great. Most air show promoters would kill to get the Snowbird team to their air show. I know I'm one of them. That this year we had them again, and really grateful. And the people are still talking in Minot after a month. They're still talking about the performance of the Snowbirds.
Right, so I almost can't fit them in, eh?
Right, they get a lot more bookings than they can handle, I'm sure, by a long ways. And in the U.S., we could use them every weekend.
What is it about them that the audience seem to go for?
Well, you have two things, Ken. You have the absolute great skill and practice. It must be just tremendous because they do a great job. Plus the fact that every one of them are gentlemen. They're just great guys. Everybody enjoys the dickens out of them. And I know all of us do at Minot really well.
Yeah. Is it the style of performance? I mean, is it the type of show that they put on as well?
I think it's the 9 airplanes that you have in the show and the fact that you're no more than 8 seconds to center stage instead of the hurry up by and then wait for them to come back the other way. It's something going on all the time. It's an action-packed, really a well-planned and choreographed show.
How would you rate them with other military teams?
Now you're getting me in trouble. supposed to be U.S. Of course, I'm close to the border and have flown so many shows in Canada that I'm half Canadian, I think, and really enjoy it up here. And how do I rate them? Number one in the world. I think they're the absolute best on the line anywhere.
How do the audiences in the U.S. respond to them?
Just great, just absolute. They just can't say enough about the guys and their flying.
I heard that their reception in Reno, like Fairway down south, just recently was really quite overwhelming.
Right, very much so. I've heard reports, friends of mine who fly in the races were talking about how great they were in Reno, and so it's good. Good response.
Good. That's all we need, Al.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. Go ahead, bro. So, can you comment, George, on your experience as a Snowbird leader?
Yes, I can. Leader in 1983 and 84, and spent 23 years in the Air Force altogether. And of the 23 years in the Air Force, I'd say 83 and 84 were by far, the highlight of my Air Force career. The teamwork, the traveling, and flying the show were the real competitive and highly rewarding years.
Some of the highlights.
I think individually highlights, you might look at individual shows. There were some embarrassing moments where the leader makes a mistake and hits the wrong town. I'll tell you about that one because we were supposed to do a fly past for the opening of the Kitchener-Waterloo Oktoberfest. And they asked us to pass down the street to open the parade up at 1 o'clock. And at 1 o'clock I went right down the street, but it was Guelph, about 15 miles away. So we caught the tail end of the parade, and they appreciated it anyway. Doing shows in Abbotsford, British Columbia was always nice, and at Toronto. And here in Moose Jaw, your own home crowd, you could always hear the wives in the back of the video because they would always be near the video camera, hear them applauding the individual maneuvers, which would get the rest of the crowd applauding. So then when you're watching your replay at the end of the show, you hear the crowd. And that's quite intriguing to hear. Yeah, very exciting.
What do you think it is about the Snowbirds that makes them stand out amongst other aerobatic teams?
I think it's the all-Canadian thing. We're flying a totally Canadian-built and designed aircraft. We carry basically our national colors, red flight suits and the blue. We don't arrive with a whole bunch of fanfare, and I think that's particularly when you do shows in the United States, where they host the other American teams who have support aircraft. We are fortunate in that the Tudor is a very simple aircraft to maintain and doesn't need a large transport aircraft for maintenance support. It would be nice to have sometimes, but we do quite well without it. So I think that's one of the unique things about the Canadian Forces Snowbirds teams, that they are self-sustaining for 90% of the time. We do rely on base support and Canadian Forces support sometimes to bring us a spare engine in places like Reno, which I can remember. But it works well, it works like clockwork.
What kind of tradition does Canada have in military aviation?
Well, I'm not a historian by such, but I know in the aerobatics side of it, they've been going for a long time, dating back to the Siskins, and even before the Siskins, which I think were in 1931. But even before the Siskins, unofficial teams. And the Golden Hawks in the late 50s, early 60s were what got me interested in becoming an airshow pilot. I remember I was an air cadet then and watched them perform over the St. Lawrence River in Quebec City. There's a lot of tradition in the Canadian Forces aviation, and we still have those same traditions today in formal dinners. The tradition is there. In our flying aspects, Canadian pilots are recognized as aggressive pilots. That doesn't mean it's unsafe. It's tempered aggressiveness, if you wish. So I think our tradition is in our ability to adapt and to be aggressive in what we're doing.
Do you find what sort of difference do you find in each team?
Oh, personalities are the main difference. The uniqueness of the team every year changes. There's a new maneuver brought in, or one reborn again from several years past that hadn't been on the team. I think that's about the only uniqueness of each individual Snowbird team, apart from the characters who make up the team. Every year there's a nice change to the team. I can watch any show and see that there's a little bit of a show I did in '83 and '84, and see some totally new stuff which I thought in '83 and '84 couldn't be done, and it's being done. And so you tell yourself, I wish I would have thought of that, you know. And so it's nice to see, because we're not bound by any other things than the aircraft and human limitations.
That's great. Anything else you want to talk about that we haven't covered?
No, I'd just like the Snowbirds to keep on plugging forever.
Yeah, let's hope they do.
Yeah.
Good, thanks.
Last team members.
Company you use down in good stuff.
I just walked in. I would guess.
I put it down.
Where is he?
Because I talked to
How you doing? You're looking a real old timer there. Hey, Yogi Bear. How are you?
Where's Mother?
Right here.
Mother Bear? Well, let's go see Mother Bear.
Hey, how you doing, Yogi? Jeez, I can see you don't fit in that thing at all.
I'm impressed, you guys. It's just right.
All my stuff's in storage.
Oh, I'll give you one of mine.
Found him.
I got it. Sorry, you wore a later model. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where's my red?
I just went across and said, big one out, and she took this one.
Well, I was going to wear the old.
So far?
Oh, yeah. I was going to have Rick on here. I should have worn it.
Can you comment on your experience as the leader of Snowbirds?
Well, I guess my comment would probably be it's been the most challenging and most rewarding job that I've ever done in my life. It's a very demanding job, but it's very rewarding. It's just 2 exceptional years.
It must be incredible to come down after a couple of years like that.
Yeah, it is. It's really one of the things that you know before you go into it, that it is only for 2 years, and fortunately for me, and I think it probably is the same with a lot of the team members and team leads, when you're finished with the team, you get a new assignment and you just have to dedicate yourself to the new assignment. In my case, I went to school after I left the Snowbirds, and I didn't have time to think much about anything other than studying.
What were the highlights? Were there certain things that stuck out during that?
Oh boy, there probably is an awful lot of highlights, but I would say that the 2 years themselves were a highlight. For specific air shows or specific happenings, there's a few that probably that linger in my mind as being very special. We were awarded an award from the American Aviation Hall of Fame, where President Reagan come on a remote and congratulated us, and that was very special. It seemed strange to me at the time that here the President of the United States would give us a congratulatory message, and a lot of Canadians don't even recognize the Snowbirds. They do now, but at that time they really didn't as much, and so that was very special. There's a number of them. I could sit and talk for hours about highlights.